Hey everybody, welcome to Radically Moderate. Before I continue, if you found this video and you're new to this channel, I want to highly recommend you please subscribe, leave a like, and a comment down below. I read every single comment. It's really important to me. Passport bros ditch Western women for foreign traditional loves. Are Western women driving men away? So, if you don't know, I like to read articles from MSN.com because they have a like, dislike, and a comment section. Not a lot of websites have comment sections anymore, but this one kind of hosts other people's articles. It's kind of like Reddit, but it's not Reddit. So we got 250 likes here, 31 dislikes, 50 comments. It's a positive ratio here. Let's read the article, then we can read these comments. In the era of expanding global connectivity, a new trend has taken the online world by storm. Coined as passport bros, a group of Western men disappointed by the romantic ventures at home are taking to foreign shores in search of traditional relationships. The buzz has ignited a fierce debate. Are modern Western women's expectations pushing their male counterparts away? Dive into this controversial phenomenon that everyone is talking. That has everyone talking. One of these slide articles, they're kind of stupid like that. Is this sponsored content? Am I reading? No, this is. Okay, Matthew Henderson wrote this. Choosing fit and friendly foreign women. A key driver for these passport bros is the perceived shift in the expectation and requirements of modern Western women. Many of these men have grown weary of what they see as excessively high standards, coupled with an unobtainable bar set by woke values. As a result, they are crossing the borders in search of partners who believe hold more traditional values. Okay. I feel like this is kind of really generic. Many of these passport bros feel that the push for equality in Western society has given a wave to hypocrisy. They argue that many Western women expect men to remain as provider, without wanting to fill traditional roles themselves, such as cooking or cleaning. In their view, this disconnect creates a hostile environment for relationships. These concerns have led to a phenomenon that might be seen as alarming, and increasingly, Western men are fleeing, seeking happiness in other parts of the world. They find solace in cultivating relationships with women who understand their expectations and are not influenced by Western ideologies. But there's a problem there, though. There's a little bit of a problem in that the women who are willing to marry outside their race, outside their culture, are not going to be a more traditional type of woman. They're going to want to marry someone of their culture from inside their country. They wouldn't marry a passport bro. So by definition, you're already not getting the most traditional woman you can. Maybe you're getting a more traditional woman, but even that's debatable because there's another phenomenon going on here. So the men are seeking traditional women, but these women could be said that they're leaving their traditional life and searching for a more liberal life. They think if they marry a Western man, they can have a more Western woman lifestyle. Oh, if I marry a guy from the United States, I can live like a United States wife. And especially if you move them to the United States and they start communicating with other United States wives and they just mimic the culture, then they wouldn't be any different then, would they? So in theory, I guess you would have to live in their traditional country. Again, it's probably not going to work. You know what? Maybe it does work out for some people here. But let's keep going on here. If this trend continues, then by 2030, there's there could be a significant increase in single Western women. This could seriously affect relationships in the Western world forever. Is feminism to blame? Critics argue that this phenomenon is a backlash against feminism. They contend that the insistence on equality, while the arguably fair in many regards, has inadvertently triggered a crisis for some men. They fear that men feel pressure to adapt to the changing dynamics of society, often leading to confusion and dissatisfaction. The New Age feminist ideology has inadvertently labeled the traditional concept of masculinity as toxic, according to some critics. Another thing I heard somebody saying was, historically, we didn't have female teachers, and that that boys and girls weren't taught in the same classrooms together. Boys have a more rough style of learning, where they be more hands-on, and girls are more, you could say, tend to be more like the classroom situation, but that's now the default. And so what happens is boys are sitting in classrooms, and if they're hyperactive because they don't like sitting down all day, they're giving ADHD medicine. Really, the better option would be have all the boys and girls be separate. Then all the boys can get the education they need, all the girls get the education they need, and then they can also become more masculine because these boys are being taught by male teachers, and they're surrounded by other guys. They're not going to turned out like little girls. The sentiment has added to the confusion about the role of men in society, prompting some to seek solace in places less affected by such ideologies, or by abandoning society altogether, like the MTGOW movement. Modern feminism, critics urge, has led to the role reversal where women are encouraged to be more like men and vice versa. They fear this might contribute to the growing dissatisfaction among men regarding their role in relationships in society. That's what I was just about to say. I didn't promise you I didn't read this article ahead of time. Men are encouraged to be more like women. Women are encouraged to be more like men. That's the whole feminism in the last 30 years was, you know what, girl? You go sleep around just like men. You go get it. You'll be happy. But they're not happy. Well, statistically speaking, you guys probably know the facts that when, according to research that I don't have off the top of my head, when you sleep around a lot, for men and women, it makes it harder for you to pair bond, and you're less likely to get married. And when you're less likely to marry, you're less likely to have a happy life. And so these women aren't getting married, and they're having unhappy lives. Well, also, now these guys are just abandoning them completely. I think that's the point of this article here. Passport bros often lament the contradictory expectations of some Western women. They describe these women as having high specific standards, requiring men to conform by their expectations, while decreeing what they perceive as toxic masculinity. Yeah, so these ladies will want like a guy who's super ripped, makes a lot of money, drives a nice car. And then those comedians who say, like, you know, he's got to build a bench 225, speak 3 languages, makes his own spices. I should just bring up that comedian's joke. But if you have all those expectations in a guy, like, you expect him not to be masculine at all. You expect him to be like a pushover wussy crybaby. You expect him to cry when he watches movies with you. Like, you can't have everything, I guess. So, ladies, you're gonna have to settle. Amazing what violates community standards here. The runaway men, the perception of Western women's gender standards, and the ensuing confusion has led many men to opt out. That, according to Passport Bros, this is a self-inflicted situation where women have created an environment that repels men. Need for respect. Interestingly, it is not about escapism here for these Passport Bros. While the appeal of experiencing different cultures is undoubtedly a factor, a driving force is the yearning for respect, an element they claim is lacking in relationships with Western women. Substantial support for these Western Passport Bros comes from the women they seek abroad. These women stand up against critics who label them uneducated or exploited, or asserting their independence and agency. Passport Bros assert that they're not trying to alter the socio-economic statuses of the countries they visit. They maintain their focus is on personal happiness and fulfillment. And isn't that what's most important in life? Unfazed by haters. Despite the wave of criticism, these Passport Bros remain undeterred. They interpret the hate as misplaced resentment and remain unfazed in their pursuit of happiness. And some see their resilience as admirable, while others see it as an expression of stubbornness. Haters gonna hate. The Passport Bro phenomenon is this is a case of the consenting cuck or whatever. Two people are doing it over here and a third person saying, I don't consent. These two people say, I consent, let's get married. Here's the Western woman. Passport Bro, Asian lady getting married. Western woman, I don't consent. This isn't fair. Well, you can't stop them. The Passport Bro phenomenon is changing the dynamics of the relationships and initiating a broader conversation about dating and relationships expectations. Passport Bro suggests that their approach to finding love abroad could be a wake-up call for Western societies to reassess relationship norms and expectations. Why would they do that? We have an entire generation of women grown up watching Disney movies. I'm talking like millennial women, where they were told that they were princesses. Pretty much every single princess movie made by Disney. That's the fantasy. These ladies, they were going to be How many friggin' children dressed up as princesses for Halloween? They still do it. And so that's what's in these girls' mind. I'm a princess. You almost want to blame the dads. Why you? Where are the dad? Whatever. No, the dad's their princess to the dads. Whatever. He can spoil his kid, but then you can't let them have high expectations. So a common problem is these women. They'll say, "Oh, I want a guy who's making like $1 million a year or like $100,000 a year," and the lady's dad will be making like $50,000 a year. And so it'll be like the street interviewer asked these ladies, like, why do you want a guy who's better than the lady your mom settled for? Are you better than your mom? And a lot of times it just leaves these women stunned, wordless. They got nothing to say after that. They think they're the best when we all could use a slice of humble pie. And maybe the problem is these people don't have enough siblings. Let me tell you, I had 6 older brothers and 3 other siblings too, 3 sisters. But 6 older brothers is the main thing, because brothers will bully you physically and mentally and spiritually and every other way they can bully you. And so there's 6 of them, and they're all older. So they're physically bigger and mentally sharper. So you can't think high of yourself because you'll be taken down a peg. The problem is, you could say like the oldest sibling gets a big head of themselves. That's the case where the parent's supposed to step in there and knock them down off on their high horse. A shift in perspective here. The passport bro phenomenon is changing dynamics of relationships and initiating a broader conversation about dating and relationship expectations. The passport bro suggests that their approach to finding love abroad could be a way. Oh, we already said that. Already read that one. Certain things can make eyebrows raise and curiosity peak when it comes to desires. What is this? Are we done? I think we're done here. So if you guys like this type of commentary content, leave a like down below, subscribe, share with your friends. Radically Moderate out of here.